Garuda Purana, Chapter 14 Garuda's Queries. This chapter contains two sections as follows. Sutji once reached the forest of Naimisharanya in course of his journey. Naimisharanya was a holy place where sages and hermits went to do penance. After reaching there, Sutji met many prominent sages who were pleased at his arrival. They took it as a God-sent opportunity to get their doubts cleared on the mystery called death and what exactly happened after a man died. Sage Shaunak, one of those sages, asked Sutji, "O revered sage, we were just awaiting your arrival. It seems God has listened to our prayer. We are confused by so many diverse and contradictory opinions expressed on the mystery of death and what happens after death. Some people are of the belief that a man takes rebirth soon after his death, whereas there are some who believe that a man after his death first goes to Yamloka to taste the fruits of his karmas and only then he takes rebirth. We request you to clear our doubts and enlighten us on the mystery called death." Sutji recounted the tale of Garuda, who had once posed the same query to Lord Krishna. While narrating the tale, Sutji said Garuda, son of Vinta, once decided to get a first-hand experience of all the three lokas worlds. After visiting all the three worlds, he returned to Vaikuntha Loka and narrated his experiences to Lord Krishna. Garuda said, "After visiting all the three lokas, I found the earth, Prithvi, little overcrowded as compared to other lokas. I also found that it provided better opportunities to a man both for materialistic enjoyments as well as his spiritual advancement. So, I have come to the conclusion that Prithvi Loka was the best of all the lokas in every respect. But all-round prevalence of sorrow and misery in Prithvi Loka made me sad. I was really perplexed to see people performing complex rituals after the death of their relative. All these rituals appeared so absurd to me. I was really amazed to see people laying down their dead relatives on the ground. I could also not understand why a dead body is laid on the bed of kusha grass and sesame seeds. I witnessed so many rituals that surprised me. For instance, I could not understand the reason why donations are made after a man dies. I am puzzled by the mystery called death, or what becomes of him after he dies. The sight of sons lifting the dead body of their father on their shoulders is still fresh in my memory. I could not understand the reason why ghee clarified butter is applied on a dead body, or why the relatives of the deceased chant Yama Sukta facing north. I was also surprised to see the son of the deceased being debarred from having meal along with his other relatives. O Lord, please reveal to me the significance of making pinda dance, or the significance of tarpan rituals. Please tell me the proper method of offering pinda dan and invoking ancestors. I find it hard to believe that all the deeds virtuous or evil committed by a man follows him after his death." This way Garuda flooded Lord Krishna with a barrage of questions and sought clarifications on them. Chapter 14 Section 1 Salvation Through Rituals. Lord Krishna replied, "I am so delighted that you have asked such important questions for the benefit of mankind. I am revealing to you the secrets, which were hitherto unknown even to the deities and yogis. O Garuda, a man should try to beget a son with the help of means as mentioned in the scriptures, because there is no salvation for a person bereft of son." Lord Krishna then went on to describe the proper rituals which are performed after the death of a man and said, first of all, the area should be purified by coating it with a layer of cow dung. This purified area is called Mandal and it is graced by the presence of the Trinity Brahma, Shiva, and myself. Sesame seeds are then sprinkled on the purified area and kusha grass is spread. A person whose death is imminent is then laid down on the bed of kusha grass. Scriptures say that a person who does not leave his mortal body in the above-mentioned way wanders hither and thither in the form of a restless spirit. No amount of rituals can put such a soul to rest. O Garuda, sesame seed has manifested from my sweat and hence is extremely pure. All kind of evil forces like ghosts, spirits, demons, etc. keep away from the place where it is used. Similarly, kusha grass has manifested from my body hair and is graced by the presence of Trinity Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Deities are satisfied if kusha grass is offered to them, while ancestors are satisfied by the offerings of sesame seeds. Scriptures say that if dying man is laid down on the bed of kusha grass spread on the land purified by cow dung, he becomes absolved of all his sins. There is a great significance of donating salt after the death of a person. Salt owes its origin to me, and donating it helps ancestors in attaining heaven. Donating salt also helps in reducing the pain and sufferings of a dying man, and this is why it is donated along with other articles after a death of a person. The relatives of the deceased should chant the sacred Yama Sukta facing north because it helps him to attain liberation. Lord Krishna then explained to Garuda the appropriate way of carrying the corpse to the cremation ground. The dead body should be carried to the cremation ground by the sons and other relatives of the deceased. In the cremation ground, the dead body should be kept in such a way that its head should be either towards east or north. The pyre should be made either of sandal or palash wood. Describing the experiences of the soul when it leaves the body, Lord Krishna said the soul leaves the mortal body with great reluctance because the attachment with the mortal world exists even after his death. Yamdoots descend down to earth to take the soul of the dying man to Yamloka. Those who have committed grave sins are tied with ropes and taken to Yamloka with great humiliation, but virtuous souls are taken with honor and due respect. Yamraj, the Lord of Death, receives the virtuous soul with all the honor and respect and metes out punishment to those who had committed sins during their lives. In his dark complexion and with a buffalo as his mount and with a noose and iron stick in his hands, Yamraj appears terrifying. On the other hand, the sight of lifeless body appears disgusting and people try to dispose it off as quickly as possible because it is worthless without a soul. So, one must try to make the best use of this mortal body by indulging in good deeds before the day of his final journey arrives, otherwise he would be left with nothing but regrets at the time of his death. Chapter 14 Section 2 Death and After. Continuing with his narration, Lord Krishna said, O Garuda, death comes at the predetermined time, which remains fixed and unaltered under all circumstances. A man's sense organs become weak and his body feeble, which gets inflicted with numerous diseases in his old age. At the time of his death, man experiences unbearable pain and he begins to lose his consciousness. Yamadoots arrive and begin to retrieve the soul from the body, and this aggravates the pain. Ultimately, the soul, which is not more than the size of a thumb, reluctantly comes out from the body as the attachment with the world exists even after his death. But a virtuous person does not go through all these painful experiences at the time of his death. The soul has to take birth in different species as well as go through cycles of countless births, deaths and rebirths in order to taste the fruits of his karmas. Describing the significance of Pindadan rituals, Lord Vishnu told Garuda that they are performed so that manis are satiated. He also revealed to him that 6 Pindadans are offered to the manis while performing the rituals of last rites. The first Pindadan is made at the place where person has breathed his last, while the second, third, fourth, Fifth and sixth Pinda dance are made at the main entrance of the house, the nearest crossroads, the cremation ground, on the pyre itself, and at the time of collecting last remains, asti, respectively. After reaching the cremation ground, the dead body should be laid down with its head towards south. The mortal body then should be consigned to flames, and after some time sesame seeds and ghee should be poured into the burning pyre so that it continues to burn without any problem. For the next 10 days, the relatives coming from the same gotra of the deceased should observe a period of ashaucha, a period during which he observes strict austerities and avoids social contacts. The son of the deceased is prohibited from having food along with his relatives simply because he is believed to be impure during this period. This way, being satisfied by Lord Krishna's answers, Garuda thanked him for clearing whatever doubts he had in his mind. Lord Krishna blessed him. End of Garuda Purana.